Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm gonna do my reading stats for September 2018. So I have my little cheat sheet, and I'm just gonna go through my list of questions of things I like to keep track of. And I said I love keeping track of stats. Yeah, I'm such a numbers person. Anyway, so here we go. Let's see what happens. So this was not one of my higher reading months, but I still met most of my goals, which was pretty good. So question number one is, how many books did I finish? I finished 8 books, so that's still pretty good. That's about average for me. Sorry, question number 2 is, how many books were physical? So 4 of the books were physical that But question number 3 is, how many audiobooks? And I did read or listen to 2 audiobooks that I completed, but I also had them in physical form. So technically 6 were physical, but I listened to 2. Does that, yeah, anyway. That's that's weird. I'm not sure how to count that. So I'm counting 4 physical, and then 2 audios. So again, so 2 audios, and then I did read 2 mangas this month. I didn't read any graphic novels, but I read 2 mangas, 2 volumes. Not very much, but I did get 2. But this is the weird thing. I didn't have any rereads this month except for that one. One of the mangas that I read was a reread, and I read it many years ago. So that was weird because the only reread I had was a manga and not any books. So this month was all new books to me, which is pretty good. Not normal. I'm a very big rereader. So and then this month I don't expect to do any rereading either. So, well, okay. You know, now that I think about it, I do have another reread. One of the audiobooks I had read many years ago. So I guess I can change that to, actually, I had 2 rereads. So that makes more sense. Sorry. Do I have any DNFs? So I have 2 books that one of them is very close to being a DNF. I've picked it up twice now, and I put it back down again. I read it for a couple days, and and then a second one is, I got to a certain point and I didn't like what the character is doing, so I put the book down. So I have 2 possible DNFs. They're not full DNFs yet. I have not taken them off my currently reading. I still want to give them both another shot. So they're not full I didn't have any full DNFs this month. Question number 7 is, how many were on my TBR for this month? So so I read 8 books. 6 of those are actually on my TBR. So that's pretty cool. That's a good average, a good number for me. How many were on my shelf, or were they from the library? So all of these were from my personal library. 4, again, I said were physical, 2 were audiobooks on my Audible account, and 2 were Kindle ebooks. Number 9, how many are still on my currently reading? So as I said, I have 2 possible ones that I put aside. They're still on my currently reading, and then I have 1 book that carried over from September to October. So so I will be finishing that. Question number 10 is, how many books did I buy this month? Okay, so this is kind of high. I bought 30 books. Now, I didn't buy all those for very much money. Luckily, a lot of these are used this month, but still, that's a lot of... Anyway, and then 11 is, how many of those did I read? Well, only one of them am I in the middle of. That's is one of the audiobooks kind of thing. So technically, I haven't read any of those except for the one that's in the middle of the audiobook. So yeah, I didn't do very good this month either. I'm very bad about getting to books right away. So I think next year that might be a thing for me to do, is to try to read more stuff that comes in and then I pick it up pretty quickly, because I seem to have a tendency to have plans for what I'm going to read in the next couple months, and then I buy books and then I don't get to them for months. So I don't know, I'll have to think about that. But that's why I put this stat in here, so I see it, because that's kind of like, again, I bought 30 books, but I only read 8. And really only 6 of those were physically away from my TBR. So like I had a plus 24. When those people who do those adding, Yeah, I haven't got quite to that point yet where I'm ready to try to reduce my TBR like that, so we'll see. Anyway, number of pages read for the month was 2,485, so that averages out to 82, almost 83 pages a day, and so to me that's pretty good. Again, my goal every month is to at least have 50 pages on average read a day, just for life stuff. So 83 is pretty good. So it's not my best and it's not my worst. So I'm good with that. It's a pretty good number. Even considering I was on vacation for a week and a half. So really, that's really good for me. My star ratings this month were mostly positive. So I had 2 5 stars. I had 3 4 stars and 3 3 stars. So that's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good reading month overall, with what I read, except for the 2 that I possibly will be DNFing, but you know, that put aside. Everything else was really good. The genres I read 1 science fiction, I read 2 nonfiction, I read 2 classics, 1 fiction, and 2 fantasy. That's pretty good, actually. I was actually surprised, you know, that I got some fantasy and fiction, science fiction in there. I'd forgotten, so that's great. I feel better about that because I've been reading a lot of other stuff. So, number 16 is my favorite book of the month. So I'm going to say 2 of them. I probably should have grabbed a copy of them, but the first one was The Unwomanly Face of War by Slavanja Iličević. Again, she's my favorite nonfiction writer right now. I love her style of oral histories. This one had to do with women in the Russian army during World War II, and then again, she wrote, I think it was 40 years afterwards. She interviewed people who had lived through that time, or 40 years, and it was just fascinating and heartbreaking and incredible what those women did and what they dealt with then as well as later in their lives. It was a really hard read. Again, it was really good though. So I really like that. But I would have to say, if I want to say my favorite book, as in all the feels and I had fun, was Rebel Heart by Nalini Singh. Again, it's no surprise that I liked Nalini Singh, her book, because she's one of my favorite authors. But this was her contemporary series, which I have kind of hit and miss of. I usually like them enough to give them 4s, you know, but 5s I don't always give the contemporary ones because I just don't read a lot of contemporary romance. I personally like it with a fantastical element. So to read a contemporary and enjoy it is always, you know, it doesn't happen as often, but I loved this one. It was so well done, and I laughed through it, and there was just enough, you know, I don't want to say angst, but you know, like the back and forth and not sure what the other person's thinking, and it was really well done because it had a lot of family dynamics that I really enjoyed. So Rebel Heart was definitely my favorite, like, read of the month, even though Unwomanly Face of War was hard-hitting, and I liked it for that too. So okay, those are my 2. And then my least favorite books, of course, are the 2 that I'm possibly DNFing. Children of Time by Andrzej Tarkowski is that his last name? Oh my god. I don't know. Anyway, I should have brought the books. I'm trying to get this stuff done. But I'm struggling with that book. I really like the chapters that have to do with the alien species on the planet, but the human side are just killing me. And it's so long, and I'm not sure. I'm still just over halfway, probably about 55% of the way through the book. It's a 600-page book. I really want to finish it because I want to know what happens, but it's like, I just got tired and I just put it down because I wasn't reading. I didn't want to pick it up. So that's the second time I've set it down. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to give it one more try to finish it. I know a lot of people love this book, and I actually have another book of his on my shelf I'd like to read, but I'm trying to get through this. So anyway, so so far I'm disappointed with that because it's just not going as well as I want. And then I picked up The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. It was my first one, and I'm not convinced this is the book for me. I've read about a third of the book, and I've gotten just now to where it's kind of doing the little spooky thing finally, but the main character is making a decision I do not agree with, and I'm having trouble wanting to continue to read about him. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm working on. I put it down because I was on vacation. I didn't want to struggle with the book while I was on vacation. So that's when I picked up something on my Kindle because it was just easier. But I do want to come back to that, but it might not be until like December when I have time. We'll see. So anyway, those are the ones on my list. So, ooh, oh, wow. Hey guys, I just knocked you over. Anyway. So real quick, I'm just going to show you my reading logs on my bullet journal just for the fun of it. So this is my reading for the month. So even though I was on vacation through here, I actually did a lot of reading. I'm actually very impressed. One of the days we had a little downtime and I just booked it and I just read a lot. So, but again, there's one day missing, but I really did a lot of reading. And then of course the day when we got back, this was the plane ride on the way home. And then the next day I didn't read it all. I'm so tired after everything. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. And then just to show you the other one that I have of the yearly, as I said, I've marked it. And I did not mark dots for reread, even though I do kind of think maybe I could put the reread in. But the thing is, I read that audiobook that I'm listening to that I read so many years ago. It's been like 25, 30 years. Sorry. Yeah, it's probably about 30 years. I really don't want to mark it as a reread because it's been so long and I don't remember a whole lot about it. So I'm not going to. So this is the first month I had that has not one dot on it because I don't count my manga on this. But still strange. I said I've never, that was new for me to realize I hadn't really reread anything this month except for a manga and a book that I had read like 30 years ago. That dates me and that's horrible. Anyway, so that is that's my stats. Hey, is there anything I should be adding to these? As I said, I'm kind of getting kind of worried when I figure out how many books I've bought during the month and how many are actually still on my TBR. But I'm not quite ready to do the whole reduce that. Even though I do want to do a purge here pretty soon. I'll probably get rid of a lot of books here in the next couple months because I just need to go through and get rid of stuff. So anyway, I hope that was interesting for you guys. If there's anything you guys think I should add, let me know. Or if any comments, let me know. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.